Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome to Jibber Jabber. I am your host, as always, Skadarmas, otherwise known as Tone Shift. With me today, we have a relatively full house, including a new addition to the Jibber Jabber crew, who happens to also be something of a work-in-progress vector artist. I say work-in-progress because they still need to improve a lot, but keep going at it, you'll get better. Lumina Starlight. Say hello.
Hello, hello, hello!
And yes, for those of you who can actually see the screen at the moment, I did plonk her right next to me because there is literally nowhere else when everyone is visible for her to go. We have the guy who tells stories about Ben and also happens to be one of the only Brits in the server, Darkness.
Hello again.
Sitting directly across from him, we have the other server Brit, who also happens to be the author of the Change series and the author of the Patreon exclusive reading, which I should probably talk about later, Tom117Z.
Hello, hello, hello.
We have the local meme lord who has lost and regained his title multiple times at this point, Small Tux, just kind of chilling out on his head.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Let's see here. We have, standing in the background to stare into your soul, Paladin.
Here.
It's here.
And everybody's Starmus.
What's this, roll call?
That's what this is. Yeah, we're introducing who all's in the episode. Now, shush.
That was sarcasm.
Well, fuck you. Next, staring at Paladin and by proxy Tux with extreme disapproval, we have Soviet Starfish.
Okay. You know what? I don't know why I bother. I get bullied by everyone now. At least Lumina hasn't bullied me yet.
I
Good.
didn't call her
Yeah.
Soviet. I didn't say Pat. I didn't say the word.
Give her 10 minutes. That'll change.
Careful what you wish for.
Tell her about the time you fell off a bridge.
Wait, what?
Did you help with that though?
Did I
I
miss
mean,
something?
I didn't help with it. I just kind of turned around and he was gone.
Splat. They're talking about Fallout 76.
Oh.
I didn't know Silver Lyrics was in this chat.
Which also they came out with the this week, and they came out with the Fallout 76 rap for JT.
Oh God, rap. Ugh. I prefer music any day. Sorry.
Yeah,
I actually
me too.
enjoy the beat of it.
Aw.
You have lost respect.
That wasn't
like
very
Christopher
country
Miller.
I
road.
even listened to it.
I don't like rap just as a matter of principle.
Aw. That's just...
It is
Yeah,
all...
well, your principle sucks.
That is a matter of opinion. In general, from my point of view, rap almost invariably is just extremely annoying to listen to.
Oh,
Unless it's
my
Christopher
heart.
Miller.
Why you do this?
Anyways, so we have a bit of a last-ditch effort list of topics scrounged together today because we're starting late because I overslept. But the first topic on the list is we have a new member, so we should probably talk about that just a little bit so the audience is familiar with it. So, Lumina Starlight, newest person to join the Jibber Jabber crew on account of, becoming a patron of $5 or more.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about yourself a little bit, get the audience familiar with you, and then we'll give our own 2 cents.
I am a vector artist. I like anime. I'm a huge otaku, so if you see me in the chat, I'm usually talking away or I'm at work.
Yeah,
Which case is...
you talk a lot. We have noticed. It got so bad. Your conversations with Crow, Kieran, and one other person got so bad I had to make a separate DM just for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had to put us in the timeout corner.
It wasn't a timeout corner. I just had to give you your own room where you could chat freely without me receiving ping 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 24/7. Because you guys have like 3 conversations at the same time in the same chat.
I always thought he was the quiet one.
Oh, so they have another Jibber Jabber then.
And I thought I always talked the most.
Oh no, you just drop memes everywhere.
And talk the most.
Jibber jabber within a
And fits
jibber.
in my head.
But yeah.
Time and space is broken
Yes, I guess. Well then.
But yeah. Fun stuff. New person. And just as a heads up to everyone, she actually drew the vector that is being used to represent her here in the Jibber Jabber screen. So kudos for that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a puppet. Or an attempt at a puppet.
Wait, a puppet?
Oh, technical term time. Explain.
Okay, puppet is like this vector that has multiple pieces to it that you can move around.
Ah, so basically what they use
Oh.
in the show in Flash.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep.
Mine is
That
in the
could have
escape.
been useful.
I get it now. See, I'm learning.
Yeah. I had a feeling that's what it was, as I have trace amounts of experience with animating stuff in Blender, but only trace amounts.
I have no experience, so I am clueless.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
but yeah. She has a tendency to be quiet in voice chats, but don't let that fool you. She is very talkative when you get her going.
Yeah.
She also
Hey, I've got no qualms with that.
she also made a character for a tabletop role-playing game that's a cyborg chocobo.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Chocobos
heck,
are the
I'm
best.
fancy.
She has a very creative mind.
Oh yeah, chocobos are great. And to emphasize that, at one
And
point,
according to her... Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, like this is an interesting side note. I've been trying to practice art in the relatively recent past. Still shit at it, but I mean, hey, you got to start somewhere. And at one point for practice, she suggested I draw a picture with her OC in it. To be fair, I asked people to throw their OCs at me so I could pick one to draw a picture of. She was the first one to respond, so I just went, fuck it, let's do that. So I drew a picture of her OC looking at a baby chocobo on a beach.
That was a little chocobo. It was cute though.
It was a fresh hatchling, yeah.
Yes, so tiny.
Even aren't hatchlings pretty strong though?
I don't know. They're hatchlings. They're babies. So
Baby does a critical hit.
I mean, you can hold one of them in your hand.
I wonder where the mama bird went.
I don't know.
It's doing things.
I don't know. Maybe it got attacked by a predator. Or who knows? Maybe it was away from the nest and got attacked by a
See,
predator.
it's always goes straight to dark with you.
Maybe it was hunted by some poacher prick with a bow and arrow. Who knows?
Oh.
Maybe it just
I
got
just noticed-
maybe it just got lost over in the briar patches. Now chasing a rabbit down a road with looking for its map. I don't know.
This is how
I
you
just
know.
noticed-
Or
Comment.
Lumina stole the egg.
Who?
I don't know what that.
What? What?
I said, or Lumina stole the egg.
Hey, I have a
Oh.
respect for nature, you know.
Straight up finesse.
Yeah. Yes.
Fair point.
Yes. But Patrick doesn't have a respect for anyone else. So.
I have
just
some
read the
respect.
comment in the messages, and it seems Lightning Flash said something.
Yeah.
Shit, I missed the start of Jibber Jab.
Really?
Oh well. It would have been a great
We're full.
opportunity. Would have been a great opportunity to have all three of the Brits here at once, but
Wait, he's British?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
All three of the British people have their own little corner. They are the British corner.
Oh, thank you.
Lightning.
You were being segregated.
God save the Queen.
No.
You're in
I
the corner having a tea party.
yeah,
The
exactly.
Queen.
You have
What can I say?
tea and biscuits.
The British.
Fish and chips.
The British are coming.
The British have came.
The British are going.
Jeez.
Oh,
You beat
no,
us-
everyone.
You beat us in one war and you think you own us.
No, seriously, the British are going from the EU. Apparently.
Excuse me, twice.
No, the second one, no one won.
Anyway.
And technically, the second one, we fucking raided the White House. So screw you.
No, you didn't raid the White House. You paid the Canadians to burn it down. That doesn't.
I have
fucking count.
no
Your
idea what.
president ran away.
Excuse me. I have
The war
no
of
idea what you're.
control.
I am
And then we got
unfamiliar.
bored. And then we got bored and went and go punt Napoleon instead. So
Yeah, okay. I am unfamiliar with this particular war, and this is not a podcast for discussing
Basically-
war. So
Well,
tell
just
me
a
later.
quick thing. It's just during the Napoleonic Wars we burned the White House down. So yeah.
Dang it.
Let's-
Nice,
There's water under the bridge.
nice. Anyway, so
Well, you don't have memes. Haha.
yeah, they do. Anyway, so we
Damn.
have another thing. For those of you who were here a ways back, moving on to topic 2 now. Ways back, like many episodes back, we talked about how Tom's Story Change got a translation into Chinese. That then, when translated back into English by using the infamously awful Google Translate, yielded some surprisingly hilarious results. And, more recently, my story, Little Glimpses, has received a similar treatment. So as of right now, I really quickly need to go and actually pull it up so I can look at some of the hilarious shit that was typed.
Well, that's there. I posted some of the change stuff from the... Because the change translation's finished, so I posted some of the highlights, quote unquote, in the chat just now in the doc.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'll pull that up and actually just read them off because I am the voice actor of the group.
Yes, I've mostly picked up some of them
Shit, everyone cut off.
from change and just seen how Google Translate fucked it up.
Oh my goodness. Google, you have tried and failed.
Google, go home, you're drunk.
Oh, this is delightful.
Yeah, give me a moment here. I am currently pulling up the document so I can read off the highlights.
Before he reads it, I just want to give one example. The villain of Act 1 of the first change book, Serpens, is called the Microscope in the translation. Wait till you see what the main antagonist, Cordelis, is called.
Now again, it bears repeating. This is an actual Chinese translation that when Google Translate is used to translate it back, winds up being shit. Otherwise, it's fine when it's just in Chinese. Google Translate is just ass. So
Luminous Horizon's actual work on the translation is pretty good. It's just Google Translate. It's all Google Translate's fault.
How is Twiggles going to get folded by a microscope? Let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
Let us ask ourselves these deep philosophical questions.
Also, it's not crystal. Yeah.
So, just so everyone is aware, there might be some weird, loopy, fringe spoilers for the first change story here. If you haven't read that yet, or listened
If
to
you
that
can
yet.
decipher it.
If you can decipher what you're about to hear, there might be some spoilers in this coming stuff, so keep that in mind. It's going to be very broken, but if you haven't gone through the story yet, I advise you do that first, unless you just don't care, in which case, whatever, have fun.
Just make sure to read the title, so to anyone who has...
Yeah. So, this first sequence that I'm going to be reading from is entitled Chrysalis and Longshot versus Serpens. So, let's see here. Oh God, what the hell is this name? So, it opens...
It's meant to be Celestia.
So, Celestia is any number of variations of Sureyuya. So, here we go. Who is this even talking right here? I don't know. Is that Serpens?
Oh, it was Chrysalis thinking how Celestia was right. She shouldn't have run in by herself.
Okay.
And the blade is Serpens, I think, at one point.
Anyways,
it changes constantly.
I'm just gonna read this off and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
Sureyuya is right. She kicked herself in the heart. How do you even do that? One sentence in, and everyone's giggling like little bitches. Nice.
I don't know about you. I got a feeling this is gonna be a good time.
The blade was wiped from the evil face. The shield spears and laughs, ready to give the final blow. A smashing arrow fell beside the shield spear. Shield spear, that's an interesting name. The mirror rushed into the cave. He quickly slammed again and shot the next smashing arrow at the face of the shield spear full of anger. What is this sentence?
It was Longshot attempting to shoot. Actually, I think it was Longshot slamming into Serpens.
The shield spear crossed a broadsword and bounced the arrow and flew to the land horse that attacked him. Land horse, earth pony, hooray! Evil wants to stop him, but he is kicked off the podium by a hoof.
Evil is Chrysalis.
For some reason.
Yep.
The microscope wanted to hit the shield spear with a mechanical grip, but before it could do so, the cock was shot down from his hoof. Who was getting a hoof shot? The shield spear slashed the sword twice to the mirror, and he was evaded by him. The mirror seized the opportunity and smashed the shield spear onto the ground, and competed with him for the sword. In the fight, the mirror slammed the face of the shield spear with the hoof. The nose of the shield spear had blood flowing out, and he did not hesitate to counterattack. His forefoot, with great strength, only one hoof hit the mirror, and took the opportunity to push the mirror away. What? The mirror struggled on the ground and wanted to stand up. At the same time, the shield spear had raised a broadsword and stabbed the gap between the silver armor of the mirror. The mirror does not move.
The mirror has been folded.
Yes.
Get that mirror some life alert.
The mirror
It's
was
falling,
long
can't
shot
get
in
up.
that one for some reason.
Anyways, so
I've fallen.
How many pages is this?
Uh,
8 pages. Jesus, I'm not going through all these because I also want to do glimpses and still have time.
Well, just select which ones you want to do, or just go through quickly. One or the other.
I'm kind of curious about how Nia Dogger's death would go. So
Yeah, okay.
So this
Who's
next
Nia Dogger?
So the Nia Dogger was a big fuck off dragon in Change who was killed. Anyway, so the dragon's eyes were blind and the paws were swayed, and Spike was smashed out and began to squirt the dragon fire. Oh, the mental images that brings to mind.
Sexual.
I do not need to imagine a female Spike flicking it till she passes out. All right. God damn it, DWK. Thanks for giving me that terminology. Anyway, Spike was smashed out. Spike was smashed out and began to squirt the dragon fire. This determines his demise. Niger Gray, who was constantly spraying the dragon fire, soon had to breathe. What the hell is this mental image? So we've got a female dragon flicking.
Tumblr exists for a reason.
And then a bigger dragon like drinking it up and spitting it out somewhere, and then having to stop because he has to breathe. This is horrible. NSFW. Shit. Goddamn.
It's official. Google makes cloptics.
I need to breathe. God.
Oh.
He was busy with a big mouth and inhaled.
Not safe for Spike.
Not safe for Wuna.
Not
No.
safe for NSFB. Not safe for Blissey.
Okay. He did not see the light shining toward himself, and he did not see her trying to shoot a magic to his throat. Magic! If it is normal, it is possible for Dawn to concentrate such attention in such a short period of time.
Dawn is Twilight.
Of course.
Oh.
If Nido Gray blocks her, she will not have time to save so much magic. But she just did it, and the magic crossed Nirvana. Gray's throat just hit his lungs.
What?
So what I'm picturing here is Twilight just conjures a giant fuck-off hammer, hits Nia Dogger on the head, and his throat spears down into his chest.
Bear in mind what happened in the original scene is that she launched a ball of magic down his throat and exploded his lungs. So
Brutality.
Basically the same thing.
The flammable gas in the lungs of Nidurgo exploded, blasting his lungs. Lungs has been used twice in this sentence, leaving a violent bleeding, and he screamed hoarsely. He wants to inhale in vain, but his lungs are ruined, and he can't hold even a little oxygen. Nita Gray struggled for a while, and his movements became weak. Then he fell from the sky and slammed into the ground. The smoke slowly dissipated, and Dawn and Spike landed in front of Nita Gray, still twitching. He's dead, but no one dares to say whether he is dying or dying. What?
Okay,
What's
then.
the difference?
I think he's dying.
I don't know, fam. He looks like he's definitely dying, though.
Is he dying or dying? I'm not sure.
I'm not a medical professional here, so I can't tell you.
I now pronounce you legally dead.
but I'm still alive.
Too bad.
I like to remain silent.
Can I get a second?
You may not get a second opinion.
Okay. One more sequence. This is Crudelis defeating Chrysalis.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The evil spirits whispered to himself, saying, "What? The evil spirits are still missing here, and the original males are waiting for opportunities."
the original male is Crudelis.
Wait. Wait, how's that spelled? How's that spelled? M-A-I-L or M-A-L-E?
Male is in the gender.
Yeah,
Crap.
the original
shit.
male. The original dude, Crudalis, is transgender confirmed.
Yes.
He is a changeling, so yeah.
A spear tip,
Your own husband.
a spear tip stabbed the evil scorpion's back, causing a scream. Then look at the spear tip carefully. It turned out to be the original male, holding the hidden weapon with her red magic. The evil spirits secretly blamed themselves and made such mistakes. Looking back now, the magic is weak, and it's not surprising. Still green. The original male pulled back the spear tip, and the evil spirit immediately turned around and was full of desire to take the next shot. However, I did not expect that the original male moves were so varied, and they were all unpredictable. First, a magic blew up the evil legs, and then pierced the spear into her chest. Why am I there?
Wait, what?
Guys, music.
Why am I there? It says, however, I did not expect that. Whatever. Evil is unable
Remember,
to struggle.
You have Chrissy.
Whatever. Evil is unable to struggle, but also wants to shoot magic, but it is unable to return to heaven. After stabbing a few times, the original male finally closed his hoof and inserted the spear tip into the evil chest. The evil spirits fell to the ground, only to see the gas of sight. The chest full of wounds, blood flow all over the place. She coughed up blood, and she was determined to look up and look at the original male with eyes full of ice, and she was not afraid of her face. Originally, he did not expect it. He said...
Respect it.
He did not respect it. He said, "It's a pity that my niece died so badly. I am so sad." After the words were finished, she lit up the one-horned horn and used a magic to cut the square to the terrace, and then flew away. The terrace fell silently, and it was broken into 8 pieces on the ground of the center city, and the evil spirits were buried underneath.
The terrorist?
Terrace.
Terrace.
Oh, I was about to say.
It's another word for balcony, because balcony was the original word used.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
So-
about to say.
Oh.
I was about to say just Chrysalis doing. Whoop, whoop,
God damn it.
You son of a beach. Okay, so that was some shit from Change's retranslation Google shit.
Yes.
Now I don't have
Beautiful.
now. Sadly, as things stand, Tom already has like the best bits from Change already sort of mapped out. I haven't gone through the whole reading to find my best bits yet, as far as little glimpses go. So I'm just gonna have to search blindly here for a minute.
What we could always do is just save that for next time, and if you want to compile a whole bunch,
No,
and
because
make that into its own topic.
No, because I wrote the story. I know where most of the shit is. It wouldn't take me very long to find it, and I already know the first thing I want to read.
Alright.
Oh boy, here we
And-
go
and that-
again.
And that is the first scene where Twilight meets her future self in a dream.
Oh, we're in for
All-
some trippy shit.
Also, just as a heads up, for some reason, future Twilight cannot stop uttering the words "hey."
Hey.
It made
Hey.
it made it seem almost she can't stop saying "hey" and "oh." It makes it sound like she's trying and failing to rap without the music part.
Hey, yo,
Hey, yo, it's me, Cool Tux. Round here, about to give you a couple bucks.
Shush.
And I'm gonna put you in a jar now.
Anyways. Mucus. Anyway.
Putting in me jar will not let me be stopped.
Okay.
I
Hush,
come
hush,
out with the
hush,
Glock
hush,
and you
hush.
shall be popped.
Tux.
I.
Hold your peace and your tongue, or I will. Now then. Beginning. Twilight? Hey, can you hear that? A strange voice awakened Twilight's sparkle. She only felt a little confused, slowly opened her eyes. The voice is like an adult female. Her tone is urgent, but at the same time with softness. After seeing it all around, Twilight couldn't help but scream. She was not in the room that Princess Celestia had just arranged for her last night, nor in the room at home. It is in an endless white. It is in an endless white. I almost read the original text, but it's not even there. It is in an endless white. The colorful magic floated slowly in the air, illuminating her body and the platform under her hoof. She had just slept on it. The little purple female stood up and wanted to find the source of the sound. Who are you? Where am I? I can't explain it clearly, oh, the voice answered heavily. Colored magic seems to be a streamer, rotating and twisting together, vaguely forming a female horned beast.
What?
I mean, Alicorn Twilight has a horn, so...
Wait a second.
Horned beast. Between the tangled magic, Twilight saw a pair of purple eyes looking at himself. I can't explain too much. What does this mean? What happened? Twilight took a step back and looked around in horror and asked. Don't worry. Hey, believe me, it's safe. I'm just... The magic of the shape of the celestial horn sighed like a sigh. I just hope that I can have time to look at it. What? I can only tell you this. Tianjiao got up and sat down in front of Shu Guang, looking at her with a squint. You must be brave. Hey, your future's changed and become even more rugged and difficult. What? But you can do it. Please, I beg you, walk side by side with your friends. No matter what happens, don't leave your friends. Friends? Twilight's 5 senses were huddled together, confused. I don't have friends. I don't need friends. I have Princess Sirius, father and mother, and Cadence in silver armor. Shiny is with me. It is enough to have them. Tian Jiao sighed and smiled bitterly. I know that you think so, but you will understand it later, just like me. What do you want to say? So broken. I want to explain it clearly. Oh, be strong, okay? For me and you. The silhouette of the Hornborn looks up at the ear of magic turns forward. She nodded to the side of the void. I'm sorry. Really, really sorry. She looked back at the dawn. My time is running out. Oh. The rest of the time belongs to you. Good. Use it. Magic spreads out, circling and dissipating. I misspoke there. Dissipating in a white void. Twilight looked puzzled and surrounded, and a pair of ears clung to the top of his head. She put a forefoot on her chest and felt only a sorrow for no reason. She shook her head and looked at the void in front of her eyes. Hey, what are you doing? You have to make it clear. I want to know. But no answer. The crystal-like table under the hooves of the hooves suddenly shattered. She fell into the endless abyss and shouted in horror. The whiteness around it gradually dimmed into a boundless darkness. The original warmth quickly turned into a bitter cold wind. Twilight screamed, waving his front legs, trying to grab something. But nothing. In the abyss, Twilight saw countless feathers, lavender-like purple, slowly falling. She passed through and fell straight. Then she woke up. So, that was the opening scene of Little Glimpses.
I feel like I just took fucking like acid or something and started listening to it.
LSD
So
works every time.
That's actually wherever the servers for Google are located. That's actually the power source for Translate. Just LSD.
fucking LSD.
And a fuck ton of crack.
Just a little bit of meth.
For
good measure.
There are a few highlights that I did actually send directly to Tom, so I'm going to read some of those off real quick.
Oh, goody.
Is Google ran by El Chapo or something godly? So many drugs, freaking...
But another alarm clock rang. A 3-month-old baby dragon screamed and climbed into the Twilight bed. Twilight suffered a bitter face, but still looked at him with a gentle smile. Oh, good morning, Spike. She groaned in a deep sleep, reaching out a hoof. He patted her hooves and made a sound called the order that cannot be disobeyed.
At least this Spike isn't squirting fire.
Oh, Squirtle.
No.
Don't need that mental image. But yeah, so the order that cannot be disobeyed. I'm going to have to use that sentence somewhere now in like Little Memories or something. Anyways, it's here. Oh, then there was the time that that Rainbow Dash was apparently incredibly formal when being brought to Canterlot, and Ceres is Celestia and Cantero is Canterlot. In fact, Celestia just has like 7 different names in this one excerpt. Ceres was delighted to look at the spires of Cantero. These towering buildings are now above them. She lowered her head and glanced at the little female sitting next to her in the carriage. She didn't look at Saris, but just stared at the ground outside. Sarasiah moved his eyes back to the city of Cantaro, and the two royal guards pulled the car and slowly drove towards the landing zone. "We are here, aren't we?" asked the little lady, but still didn't look at Saris. Saris, insert Chinese symbols that I do not understand here, gently nodded. And no, seriously, there are a few Chinese symbols there that I don't know what they mean, so I can't read them.
That's just where Google Translate gave up.
Yeah. Sarah's Chinese sounds gently nodded. "Let's go. Your new home is ahead." "There is no intention to offend, Princess, but Cloudsdale is my home," the little girl retorted. "I am only temporarily not at home." So, that is an extremely formal way of saying that. So, Twilight raised her eyebrows too far is another gem from all this. Okay, now, one more excerpt, and then we can probably move on to different topics. Let's see here. "Hey, there is one more thing." It's Celestia talking, by the way. The Dawn was still on the ground, but she raised her head curiously. "What, Princess?" "You two are awkward." Sarah's smirk smiled mischievously, pushed open the door, and left, leaving the two little females face each other.
Ouch.
Yeah, so you two are awkward.
What?
It's just an
Okay.
originally she said plain nice, but anyway, I mean, it was the first time Rainbow and Twilight met, so yeah, it was kind of awkward, especially since Rainbow was eyeing her sides the whole time instead of her. Anyway, so, "Hey, are you okay? You seem like..." Yun Bao, otherwise known as Rainbow, stunned her eyes, and she quickly closed her mouth and stepped back. "I am very good. If you let me sleep for a while, I will be better, understand? Well, thanks. Leave." Yun Bao said indifferently. The door fell heavily. Twilight took a step back and was shocked by the reaction of the little female. "What is it? How is your temper so big?" How is your temper so big?
What I don't understand is why sometimes Twilight's called Twilight, and most of the time she's just called the Dawn.
What I want to know is why is Rainbow called Yun Bao?
What I want to know is everything.
I want to know. I want to know who's Google Translate headquarters so that I can go there and give them a lesson in what.
The problem is it's software doing it. It's not like a person is translating it. So
it's not like
Who
an
made the
active-
software?
Someone who doesn't speak the languages they're translating and only knows the basics.
anyways.
They are fired.
So, yes, that, ladies and gentlemen, was another little excerpt from the translations into Chinese and back into English via Google Translate of Little Glimpses and Change. What? Whatever. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that madness. I'd keep going, but I don't think my throat can take anymore. I recorded 2 chapters of Soaring on Little Wings yesterday, so my voice is a little tender. So I'm going to stop myself from going too much farther, and we'll just move on to the next topic.
Yeah, take it easy, Tom.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've got work tomorrow. Anyway, so next up on the list of topics, we have more stories of Ben. Darkness, you know what to
Oh
do.
boy. Of course. And to be fair, this is before I know what Ben was like. This is quite a long time back. In our early friendship moment. Well,
Baby Ben.
oh no.
Baby
Thank
Ben.
goodness I did not know him as a baby.
It might have done
I
him some
hate to
good.
think what that was like.
It might have done him some good if you did.
I suppose. Future warning.
I can just imagine Baby Ben somehow having his pram go racing down the street through traffic, through a zoo enclosure.
That would be quite a sight. This is, I believe, where I was like, yeah, I was 11 at this time, and he was, let's see, 13. So yeah, he's still at that age advantage thing, but you can't fix that. But anyway, despite him being 2 years older, for some reason, one of the days he invited me round, I decided to there. It started off all right. I mean, we were just playing a few games, just what normal friends did, until he asked one weird question from me, which apparently he knows I can do it. So he asked me, I suppose, could he... oh goodness, it was this.
You're having a hard time remembering this, aren't you?
Nope. It's just cringy. He
Well,
literally
there's
asked
been
me
nothing.
this. So, do you know how to make a cup of tea, White? Yes. Could you teach me? I thought you already know.
You're British.
I mean...
Sorry, stereotyping, not good.
It's okay, it's funny with me. I mean, you're 2 years older. I mean, haven't you made a cup of tea before? No. Not one? Okay, then. It's easy to do. I mean, so I showed him how to do it. And then I said, right, now you know how to do it. I'll be right back. Okay.
So, let me guess, he burned the house down.
Nope. Instead, I just heard a crash, and I was like, are you okay? Yes, I accidentally tried to pick it up, and it was hot, and I dropped the kettle. Oh. That way I think it's fine. We shall see, won't we? No. What? You don't put the bloody kettle on there now? Why? You got it all soaked. It's soaking wet. You don't put it on there. I mean, I don't think it is all right. It's leaking. You broke the bloody kettle.
Jesus.
Oh. Yeah. It wasn't... because I remind you that it wasn't one of the normal kettles. It's not made of metal. It's not made of frickin' plastic, but glass. Which is a good glass, I suppose. It doesn't... It can stand temperatures, but it can't stand frickin'...
It would be tempered glass.
Yeah. He cracked it. Great big crack.
He did try and pick it up by the handle, right? And just, hold the
I
body.
mean, I thought that much. I just thought it might have been a bit heavy for him. But nah, I found out he actually tried to pick it up. But with two hands, instead of using the bloody handle.
Right.
And so the first hints of his stupidity are revealed.
Yes. To be fair, that was the second attempt. I was there that time to see what he was doing wrong.
My God.
Ben, you do not touch the bloody kettle at the side. There's a handle for a reason. Use it. Thanks for the tip.
It's more fun.
It's not
to
a tip.
fuck
It's
yourself
common
up.
sense.
Oh, by the way, question. Does Ben know you tell these stories about him?
I did ask him, have you ever watched Jibber Jabber?
I'm guessing the answer is no.
I send you a link. I lost it. How did you lost it? You know what? I don't want to know. I just don't want to know, Ben.
Well,
why didn't you just scroll up in the message chat? You can scroll up.
What does that mean?
What's a scroll?
Do I look like I know what
you use the mouse. What's a mouse?
Yeah, he's still very new to all this.
Get the mouse trap.
I mean, he tried to use a computer with his controller at one point.
Fucking!
He got nowhere.
Oh my God.
Natural selection. This is why we let the stupid kid.
Ben,
Just
there's
freaking-
a genius little invention called a mouse. I think you should try it.
All right, we've heard all these stories of Ben's failures. Has there ever been a story where he succeeded?
Do you really want to know him succeed? Well, it's supposed to be time for that.
He succeeded at being an idiot. There I go.
Achievement unlocked.
So yeah, second try, and he only got as far as the kettle, and then we had to bloody start again because he just poured in bloody hot water in a cup. He didn't bother to put any other stuff in there, so we tried again. And yeah, he did put a tea bag in. He did put the hot water in.
Oh God!
But then he just realized there was no milk in it. But it didn't stop him from trying to drink it. And instead he burnt his mouth and dropped the cup and broke the cup.
Well, what
So-
you can drink tea without milk. I've done it because there was a time I had milk in the house.
Yeah,
But-
That's how I drink tea.
I mean, yeah, I drink tea without milk too. I just let it steep for 10 minutes.
that's
I
true.
guess.
But he did the stupid thing and just pour it in there, then immediately proceeded to drink it. He didn't even give it time to cool down. He just
Boiling
threw it-
water!
He just burned his mouth.
You might as well just drink it from the kettle.
This is why I don't drink hot tea. It's always iced tea.
This is how you do a British bad.
A 10 for Ben.
Kick,
Please get this right.
It's a faulty model when you take it back to the shop.
Jesus.
And then he thought he put on the kettle. He didn't put on the kettle. I do not know how he did not know the kettle was on or not, because it makes a bloody noise.
I can't whistle. Like, listen, I can try.
There you go.
Ears, my fucking ears.
Who did that?
You asked for a whistle.
Ow! You son of a bitch!
Sorry, I'm-
This is what you get for giving him power. Now he can do it.
Ow. Mute
No.
that fool now.
That's what happens when I try to whistle. It just comes out as a
That
ghost.
wasn't me.
Yeah, when I try to
That
whistle,
wasn't
yeah, that's what happens when I try to whistle. You just get the sad ghost sounding noise. Just
It sounds more pleasant than the other one. Oh.
I can't do it. Ah, buzzing!
That's Tux.
Tux.
Fuck.
Docs,
Dang
He's
it.
currently
Buzz.
complaining about his bleeding ears in general chat.
Stop the bees.
Not the base.
Me?
So did he finally get attempt 4 or 5 or 6 right?
It took him 20 attempts.
Get out!
I shit you not.
Are
It
you
was
sure
20.
are you sure that's not a bit of an exaggeration for the sake of comedy in this instance?
I literally am being honest right now. I counted.
Oh my god. Jesus
It was
Christ.
brutal. And the
This is-
21 was for me. He made
You
me
are-
a cup of tea.
You're absolutely saying you're not bullshitting us, right?
I wish I was. I literally did.
Oh god. Okay.
How,
Let's just
how
say
is
the
this
other-
child alive?
I don't know.
Well, whether whether or not these things are fiction or not, they're hilarious.
Mm,
I mean,
So he
sometimes
gave me-
truth is stranger than fiction.
yes, it is.
Anyways,
The 21 cuppa was for me.
okay. So
I was like, well, thanks, Ben. It looks like a tea. I suppose. But would it taste like a tea?
did it? Did you do it right?
I had a mouthful, and then I tried to swallow, and then I proceeded to choke on it.
Did he leave the tea bag in?
Nah, he took that out at attempt 17.
Okay.
Oh, why do I remember this? But anyway, as I was choking on it and spitting it out and clawing my tongue and wondering what the fuck did I just consume and allowed in my body, and what went wrong? I don't know. I mean, I did all the instructions right this time, I swear. I even put the sugar in this time. Maybe the sugar's off. Sugar!
It was salt.
do that. Let me see what you put in.
Oh dear, he put the salt in, didn't he?
It did. Ben!
Oh.
You're trying to kill me, man! You put fucking salt in the fucking tea!
Salt tea! Oh god, that is awful!
It is the worst taste ever. But you couldn't choose simple tea salt. You had to put fucking sea salt in it, you arsehole.
Just some person in the back, just like, yes, I'd like to have my tea salty. Extra sea salt.
That is the most saltiest thing I've ever had in my
It
life.
sounds like you're just salty that everything went so wrong.
Boy.
Tux, you saying that reminds me of the coffee shop scene from the first Abomination spin-off we don't talk about.
Wait, what?
And apparently sea salt is all they have. They don't have average salt. They just have sea salt.
Don't mind Tux, he's now the Flash Sentry of our server.
I mean, there's only like 4 or 5 kinds of salt.
What are you on about, Soviet?
Glasses. Nothing. You said yes. I'd like extra with salt, and that for some reason reminded me of the coffee shop scene from the first fucking Equestria Girls movie. I don't know why.
Oh.
It's just that can I get my hot coffee with oats, please? And that look of bitch, what the fuck?
It's like that's gonna be a I can't do that for you.
Yeah. I still think of the Equestria Girls stuff. Rainbow Rocks is probably the worst.
Except for character.
I think
bacon hair.
Yeah, I think it kind of started. Yeah, Sunset Shimmer was easily the best part of Rainbow Rocks, but the rest of it was just kind of cringy to me. I do think it kind of started to hit its stride with friendship games. The first Equestria Girls, from my point of view, was kind of a stumble. Rainbow Rocks was a full-on faceplant. Friendship games that picked itself back up, dusted it off, and kept carrying on with dignity. And then Legend of Everfree had started going into a graceful little sprint.
Yes, oh god.
And it's
Mirror
managed
Magic.
to not fuck up yet.
Speaking of which,
anyways,
Human Rainbow Dash is afraid of roller coasters.
That is hilarious.
What?
She is. She doesn't like roller coasters. She puts on a brave face, but the moment she's on one, she starts panicking and screaming to be let off. While Fluttershy's just sitting next to her like, yay.
The complete opposite of her pony self.
Coward. I should known how.
She's no coward. She just doesn't like heights.
All that buffness for no reason.
Let's be
Nice
honest.
little parallels between the characters.
Yeah, let's be honest. Human Rainbow Dash is more of a rock star, or a wannabe rock star. Who knows if she'll ever actually make it? Anyways, before we move on to the story about how Ben ruined his Xbox with a juice-covered CD, which apparently only happened like yesterday.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I kind of want to talk about a little bit, very briefly here.
Go on.
So, everyone knows that the MLP movie came out like last year or the year before, something like that, and had a full orchestra perform the soundtrack. Like, it wasn't digital or synthetic instruments or just samples. It was a live orchestra performing the music. And it sounded awesome. I immediately forget the name of the composer. I think it's Daniel Ingram or something. I don't know. But whoever the composer...
Looking it up on Spotify.
Right. But whoever the composer was did a fantastic job. But starting off, the only soundtrack they released was just the songs. And those are great, mind you, but that's not exactly my preferred form of music. Anyone who knows me knows that I generally prefer instrumentals. I don't like lyrical music as much. I'll listen to it the first time going through a musical thing, but after that, I'll skip the songs every time because they just take me out of what's going on. I know I'm kind of alone on that, but when characters just randomly break into song, no matter how relevant the song is, it just takes me out of it, because people don't do that in real life. I want to be immersed in the story, and the moment characters start singing, it just takes me out of it, but I'm getting off track.
I mean, it's pretty much established as a part of equestrian culture at this point.
Yeah, I know, and it's the one part that I choose to adamantly ignore in my headcanon. Just cool.
I've made references to it every now and then.
Well,
in one of my recent stories, Jane Javier, like at one point the characters in the library, and they just heard something outside. It's like, what's that? It's just a spontaneous song number. Ignore it.
They do that.
They do that.
Anyway.
I think I found it, but it's not Poser.
Whatever. Anyways, so but as it stands, but yeah, live orchestra performed the soundtrack for the My Little Pony movie. Great music, but couldn't access the music just on its own. Either had to find a way to rip all the other sound effects out, which always left little fragments and echoes and ghostly sounds that kind of distracted from the music, and the music itself was of a shockingly low quality when done that way. Or just watch the movie and deal with it in the scenes. Thankfully, the official score, not the songs, but the score, has been released. You can find it on various places. And interestingly enough, it actually comes with what was originally meant to be the opening song, because, like, apparently Last Minute is when that stupid pop song in the opening, when they're flying towards Canterlot, at the very opening after the title.
The part I skipped.
Yes, that stupid pop song was not actually originally meant to be there. There was an entirely different piece of music composed for that sequence that fits so much better, but apparently some executive meddling from up top last minute changed that to a pop song that literally no one wanted. So, but yeah, the original opening track can be found as the last piece of music in that score, and some people actually went out of their way to recreate or edit the opening sequence to include that song instead of the pop song, as well as the pre-title sequence monologue by Twilight talking about the princesses and ending with the widow shattering and all that happy shit. Some deleted scenes.
The reason why they took out the song is because, well, you never heard that Equestria was never mentioned by name during the entire film. It was always Canterlot. Essentially, they exactly decided that not everyone in the theater would apparently know what Equestria is, so they decided not to include the word, even though that's completely stupid.
Yeah.
Same reason why Ponyville was only very briefly seen in one shot at the very corner of the screen on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof.
Slightly disappointing, but oh well. Anyway, yeah, so that's just kind of a nice little thing I wanted to point out, do a little plug there, because I am a sucker for live orchestra music and instrumental music. That is my type of jam. That's why Yoko Shimomura is like my favorite composer from Japan. Her musical style is mostly orchestra with pianos and strings and stuff. Very good stuff.
And who wouldn't be? It's so elegant and just it's perfect for even storytelling and everything else.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, when I'm sitting here pondering or when I'm trying to write things, I just pull up the Skyrim ambient soundtrack because it's just peaceful, lazy music to lounge to.
It is definitely that, but the thing is I already know that soundtrack inside and out, so it's kind of boring.
Right, now I've got a new one to listen to as well.
Anyway, so yeah, just that quick little plug for the movie score. Now, more stories of Ben. Specifically, I think the next one you had on the list is how he broke his Xbox.
Ben drowned.
Ben drowned his Xbox.
What a terrible fate you found yourself in.
Oh dear.
I'm not familiar with the Ben drowned creepypasta. I just know
That's a terrible fate you've had, Microsoft.
Let's just say you have your good creepypasta and you have your terribly bad.
Terribly
It's a double-edged
fated creepypastas.
And all of them are mean.
Yes, they are.
It's my reign.
Have fun, Tux. Anyway.
You know I will.
Just before I get to that, there is a what the fuck conclusion to the last one.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Because I decided to make myself a decent fucking cup of tea and pour that crap down the sink.
The crap with
And
the
what I
salt.
was
Question,
doing
before you
next-
continue this, do you pour the milk in last or first?
Last.
Good man, you're not a heretic.
Yes, thank you. Whoever pours their milk in first, my God.
That sounds weird to me. That is
You
new.
will
So-
die.
no
wait,
saying
you
this,
guys don't
outsider.
just dump
I-
the milk and cereal on the counter?
I just don't pour milk into my tea on the grounds that it fucks with my voice because of the stupid amount of mucus it generates. Not good for voice acting.
But it good though.
I
But
mean,
anyway.
yeah, but I value the capacity of my voice over a drink that tastes like milk. Besides, it already tastes like tea, and I add a bunch of honey to it for the soothing factor. Anyway, Starkness, carry on. We got like 5 minutes
Yep.
left.
The fucked up conclusion to this story. As I once I finished making my tea and enjoying it, then I saw Ben come into the kitchen, and I could not believe what the fuck I just seen. Wait. What the fuck are you doing? I'm making coffee. Wait, you fucking know how to make coffee? You can't make a simple fucking cup of tea? Yes. What the fuck is wrong with you? You call yourself a human being, you can't even make fucking tea, but you can make coffee. Yeah. You know what, Ben? Maybe it's best that you stick with coffee and I stick with my tea.
He likes coffee and he can make coffee over tea. That explains everything about him.
That's the only thing I know in his life he succeeded at. That's it.
He is a heathen. He is the Antichrist himself. Soul as dark as the brew.
Deus Vult.
But anyway, the Xbox one, which I got it right here now. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
And this was in the middle of a Discord conversation, and then Ben started to text me all the way from bloody California. And I was like, I said, "Oh God, it's Ben. What is it now?" And oh, okay. Hey mate, do you know how to fix an Xbox? And I said, "Why's that?" For some reason, it's not working properly for me.
For some reason.
Well, what's wrong? Can you please be precise? Well, I just put my disc in there, and now the Xbox is making weird noises, and then it just went poof on me. Poof? You mean it just combusted? Yes. Why? I don't know. I mean, the disc was a bit sticky, that's all. I thought it wouldn't bother the console. Why was it sticky? I might have spilt a bit of juice on it. Give me strength. Okay.
Ben, you're fired.
And how long did you have that console? I got it as a birthday present. So 3 days back. You had a console for 3 fucking days. And
brand new or
yes, he got it for his birthday. And he had it for 3 days.
And the Xbox One.
Yep. The newest one.
Oof.
What a fucking waste.
Hopefully he got the warranty.
And it was the first day he actually played it as well. And the first day he played it, he combusted it. Well
So
done.
did he actually spill his drink on the entire console, or was it just the disc and then it fucked the drive up?
I did check with that, and apparently it was just the disc. And then he just kept repeatedly asking, "Could you please fix it for me? I don't want my parents to know about this.
Tell him to play games digitally.
Could you come round now and fix it? Please say you haven't forgotten again. What? I can't fucking come to you, Ben. I explained this to you. I am not in fucking California. I am in the UK. I can't afford a plane, and I don't even have a fucking passport. So please, stop asking me."
Also, California's on fire right now.
I did ask him that.
Greg, he can use it. Greg, Ben can use it to dry out the freaking console.
I did even ask that. I mean, not to mention, I thought that California's still on fire. Or are you not aware that California's on fire? Is it? Yes!
Ben started it.
A part of it, at least. A substantial part of it.
I'm starting to wonder, did you start the second fire?
He got another moped.
God damn it, no.
He's looking out the window. He's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a fire. They didn't say this in the forecast."
And I had to ask him, "Have you got a vehicle yet over there? Because you still got that bloody license of yours somehow."
One thing, I
Well,
think obviously, like, when did Ben go to California?
It was like about over a week ago now. Or more. It's been a while, but it's been peaceful, I know that.
Was he there for just like holiday or moved there?
Nah,
or-
he moved. He moved.
Wow.
Oh, God.
To America.
I know. But I don't think he may be there any longer at this rate. I did ask about the...
I pity him. I pity him. No one should have to be.
Yeah. So yeah, I was
He
gonna
needed
get
to
another
go to the
vehicle,
other.
but my mother said
Perfect.
no. Because of the last one. Oh. Good. That is wise of her to say no. Yeah, but how do I know there was a lake? I'm not gonna question that. You mean to tell me you drove another vehicle? Well, my mountain bike. I was riding fast down a hill, and you didn't pull the brakes, did you? No. I thought I could turn. I thought I could just turn around, and then I didn't turn.
That's not how. Yeah, that's not how gravity works, Ben.
And I
Then
said,
you
was that on the path or when you were falling?
1 week after this. Why didn't you deploy the parachute? I thought I'd bounce.
Yeah.
You mean you didn't?
Incidentally-
I thought if I just bent my knees, I'd be okay.
You didn't mean
Incidentally,
you
that's
didn't
why I end
deploy.
the text up. That's what I ended up when I ended off the text when he said, "Although in a few days, I was thinking of going to do parachuting. See how I
You're
go there."
fucking with me,
No,
right?
Don't fucking parachute. Why? Because you won't pull the fucking cord in time.
It's like a newscast. Like this afternoon in California, a man seems to called splat.
You're not fucking me with it, are you?
Even if he is,
No.
it's hilarious.
I wish
Picture
I
it didn't
was.
happen.
Oh no! I mean, I could just picture it now. He's falling like a fucking cartoon character. That's
Well, most skydiving places,
it-
if it's
it'll
your
just
first
jump-
time, they'll pair you
He'll
up with
jump
an
out of the
instructor.
plane and you would hear. "Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du."
So yeah, I
Mario
definitely
Nova.
said to him, "Don't parachute, please."
on-
Don't.
He's gonna. Anyways.
You know
on
he's
his
gonna
fallback
parachute, right?
So, on that concerning note, it is time for us to end. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, so much for tuning in to this episode of Jibber Jabber. We hope you enjoyed, and as always, we'll see you next time. Keep listening, people. Bye-bye.
Sarah.
Bye.
Oh,
So long as
goodbye.
thanks for
See ya.
the fish.
Ben is-
Adios.
Ben is stupid.